Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet the founder of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. She is living proof that early detection works. Her journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, it is October, and obviously it's National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and a lot of media pay attention to this. This is the time when you see pink shoes on the NFL players, but somebody who is living and breathing this 365 days a year and has for now 42 years is Janelle Hail. She is the founder of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, my pleasure. And it is pretty amazing. 42 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And you know, I am representing today 3.8 million women who are breast cancer survivors.
Unbelievable. Okay, take us back to the early days. What happened?
I was 34 years old. In 1980, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. That was a time the internet had not come into being. So the medical community knew things that we didn't know, and therefore the public would just make up things. They had no idea what they were doing. Then if we went to the doctor and were able to get in to see a doctor, it was hard to remember, what am I supposed to ask? And very confusing and intimidating. So then we would do whatever the doctor said, we'd go home and do it. But it was a hard time because of the lack of knowledge. And I thought women should not have to go through this and make life-changing decisions without knowledge. That's not even right.
Sure. So take us back, 1980. I'm trying to picture the landscape. Were there other breast cancer organizations out there?
We were among the very first, and ours was concerning early detection from the very beginning. The few things that were spoken of in other organizations were research, because they could raise more money with research. But early detection, because my life had been spared because of early detection. That was the passion that I have now and had at that time.
And how many employees do you have?
We have, I think, 42 now.
42. Is that so strange for you?
And so many consultants also. I look at this as, at one point in my life, I envisioned looking out. I was standing up on a hill, looking out over a sea of women, and I saw women's faces, every color, every nation. I could just see this sea of women everywhere, and I knew that cancer was trying to kill them as it had me. But behind me was an army of my staff, the volunteers, the sponsors, all of those who help us. But there was an entire strong army fighting against cancer to save the lives of these women.
Wow, you are so inspirational. More from her in a minute. Let's go ahead and roll this video.
For many people, a breast cancer diagnosis can feel like a battle they're facing alone. But we are in this together because there are mothers, our sisters, our daughters, our friends. NBCF rallies and screening, supporting, and serving communities across the country. Because every woman matters. Every story is powerful. Every voice makes a difference.
Just beat breast cancer.
And every dollar helps. Together, we rise. Are you in?
And I love the message, Together We Rise. It's very optimistic and conveys strength.
We do, and women have to rise out of the fear of breast cancer. I remember this when I was home from the hospital, and all at once your life is, you have to keep going. My husband and I had 3 children, ages 3, 10, and 13. And I was a mother, a wife, and I was standing at the kitchen sink one day and looked out, and it was in West Texas. We didn't have very many trees there. And there was this one tree right outside the window. And it was in the fall. All of the leaves had fallen except for one leaf. I looked down at the leaves that were on the ground, and they were all crumbled and dried. And I thought, yeah, that's me. You know, I don't know how I'm going to face life, how I'm going to go on. Then I looked up at this leaf that was still hanging on the tree, and it was red, and it was bright, and it was beautiful. But here's the thing about it. It was dancing. It was dancing in the breeze. And I thought, that is exactly what I want to do. I want to live my life to the fullest and get rid of this fear and go into my future. And this is the way we want women to be able to have on their journey, that they can face everything that comes along, and we can help them do that.
Wow, I am so inspired by you. Early detection, we know that COVID happened, and there were a lot of mammograms that did not get done because the hospitals were just overflowing with COVID patients. So some women kind of got out of the habit of their annual exam. Let's talk about the importance.
That's right. Yes, and during the COVID days, women couldn't get in to see their doctors, and they just kind of forgot about it. What happened is, over that year, they got pushed back, and when cancers were found, when they finally got back into getting their mammograms, the cancers were at advanced stages. So that's why it's so important that we can do that. But we set up a relief fund to help the women so that they could get to the doctor, whatever we could do to help them during that time and to move them on forward.
Absolutely, and every once in a while we hear about a celebrity who comes forward, and recently Katie Couric was brave enough to share her journey. Let's go ahead and watch that clip.
We are marking the start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month with a story that hits close to home.
Yeah, our friend Katie Couric is with us. She has long been a cancer advocate, using her platform, including her time here at Today, to inform and educate the public. Well, now she's gone from cancer advocate to cancer survivor. Last week, in a personal essay on the Katie Couric Media website, she wrote, "June 21st was the first day of summer, my 8th wedding anniversary, and the day I found out I had breast cancer." Like more than a third of women, Katie was not up to date on her annual screening, writing, "Had the pandemic given me a skewed sense of time? Had it messed with my memory?" 6 months overdue, Katie went in for a mammogram and a breast ultrasound. Noting something suspicious in her left breast, her doctor did a biopsy, and it was cancer. After having a lumpectomy and 15 days of radiation, Katie is sharing her story to educate others and once again save lives. In 2000, 2 years after her husband Jay Monahan died of colon cancer, Katie aired her own colonoscopy right here on Today. As a result, there was a 20% increase in screenings, what the University of Michigan dubbed the Couric effect.
Katie, that smile right here, please.
Now she's on a mission again. And she's right here with us. Hi, Katie. It's so
Hi,
good to see
look
you.
at us all in pink.
We're in pink.
Yeah.
We got the memo. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And the first question has to be how you're feeling, how you doing?
I'm feeling great. I'm just getting over a cold. That's why I wouldn't give you all a hug this morning to protect you. But I'm feeling just fine. You know, I finished radiation last week. They said it made you tired. I was actually not too tired from it. I had a lumpectomy in July. And my next stop, I go on something called aromatase inhibitors, which suppress estrogen because I have a hormone receptor positive, HER2 new negative tumor that they removed when I had my lumpectomy. But I just feel super lucky that it was diagnosed when it was, that I went, even though I was late, that I went when I did.
Can you take us back? Because I think, I mean, you are a cancer advocate, obviously, but it's a whole different ballgame when you go in. You think you missed your mammogram by 6 months, which is probably like most people at home right now.
Yeah.
So you went in for your checkup. Tell us about that moment.
Well, I went in with my phone camera, and I was going to share it with my followers and people who read my newsletter and go to the website to say, don't forget. I forgot. I don't want you all to. So when my breast radiologist, Susan Drossman, said, can you turn off your phone? I was like, uh-oh, what does that mean? And she said, I think there's something we really need to biopsy, and I want to do it today.
Wow. And I know your team has been busy doing interviews nationwide on this subject.
Yes, and we were, Katie Couric is a very brave woman to have just been diagnosed with breast cancer and to already be talking about it. And one of our nurse navigators contacted her media company and supplied her with a lot of information to help her.
Wow.
But we are doing interviews and working all over the country. And I want to point this out about National Breast Cancer Foundation. We take a woman all the way through her journey, from the time of her diagnosis all the way through, and if she should be at the end of her life, we can help her there too. We have so many programs that we offer on nbcf.org to help the women. But when I had breast cancer, I thought, oh, I'll be over this in a couple of weeks or a few weeks, maybe a couple of months, and then I'll get on with my life. But I did not realize that breast cancer just looms over you for the rest of your life. It makes you more aware. We can't walk in the fear of it, but in the prevention of it. And it was because of early detection that I sit here with you today, and I plead with the women, please rise up, get up and go get that mammogram. You need the mammogram, and people that you love need them. We want women to be saved.
And you've been faithful to your mammogram every single year?
I have, yes, I have, because I was very aware of my body when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I exercised, I didn't have any health issues, and 34 years old was so young.
Sure.
And I got to the doctor as soon as I had a problem and was treated, and I'm so grateful, because even in the lack of knowledge era, there was hope, and we offer hope to women. We want women to know they are not alone. They are not. We are here. We will take them by the hand and guide them and navigate them and take them, to our hospitals and help the women all the way through.
So sometimes people watching a show like this will say, well, this is a large organization. I'm just like a number in a file. But if that person calls your hotline or reaches out through the website, you can help find free mammography in her backyard?
Yes, we can direct women. We can, for those that cannot afford them. And we work through our network of hospitals across the United States to provide the funds for them so that they can get their mammograms. And we need people to help us with financially, because we have hospitals that are standing in line that are begging us for money. And they have the facility, we have the know-how, we get the women to them, and they take them, and we get them entered into this hospital system so they can get help.
And how many women are diagnosed each year?
Each year, well, I will tell you what really makes me sad is 43,500 women a year will die.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
So the ability to help more women.
Yes, it's just urgent.
Absolutely.
It really is urgent.
And they can go to your website to donate, is that right?
Yes, nbcf.org.
Well, you've been an amazing inspiration. We're going to end with the website so everybody sees it, nbcf.org, nationalbreastcancer.org as well. And thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, my pleasure.
And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.